Oh, huh? Your baking aspirations are larger than your kitchen. This is gonna be a hard one. Welcome to Interior Motives, where we solve wildly specific interior design troubles and craft a space that perfectly meets your design needs by exploring Wayfair's vast selection. Today, our goal is to design a kitchen that can fit all of your chocolate chips and measuring cups, but also looks stunning for your IG food photography. This is for all the people who've gotten in over their heads with baking and are blurring the line between being a hobbyist and a potential Great British Bake Off contestant, but are worried they might not have this kitchen space to back it up. My name is Kiva Brent. I'm a scientist turned interior stylist who combines creative and critical thinking to approach problem solving in interior design. I'll be honest, my baking knowledge is limited to whatever the cake box says, and sometimes I stray from the instructions. I think it's best to call in an expert. Let's chat with Gemma Stafford, who is a chef, cookbook author, and creator of Bigger, Bolder Baking, to see what her must-have kitchen items are. Hello, Gemma. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're talking all about baking today, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not know how to bake at all. So we needed to call in an expert like you. So first I wanna ask, what do you recommend for amateur bakers? How do they get into it? What steps would you give someone?
If you want to bake and you want to get into the kitchen, you actually don't need a whole lot. You can actually get started with really very little to begin with, especially if you're an amateur and you're just trying to find your feet.
That is a great tip to share with everyone. So a lot of people cook, but they don't bake. So how do you recommend organizing a kitchen where you do both things? Do we have to have separate organization systems, or is there a really good way to kind of have it all?
For my baking ingredients, I have a baking shelf. For all of my baking, I try and keep them separately, all together, all organized. So when I'm in that headspace of baking, I just go to that drawer and I can just pull everything I need, and I'm not rummaging around, going all the way around the kitchen looking for my ingredients. I would say get crafty. What I did was, when I had that very small kitchen, we had no counter space. There literally was no counter space. And I went and I ordered a wheelie cart from Wayfair online, and it had shelving and then it had a flat top. So for production, I would wheel that into the kitchen and that would be my work table. And then when we weren't filming, it would go over to the corner and it was also my spice rack, and I held my sprinkles there and my rolling pins and all those sorts of things, my cookie cutters. Out of a small kitchen, you really need to get as much utility as you can out of equipment and out of your spaces.
What are 3 must-have baking items for you?
I'll start out by saying a kitchen mixer. It's just, if you're an avid baker, it is something that you really will get your money's worth from it. Now, if you don't have the space for that, which a lot of people don't in small kitchens, a little portable electric hand mixer are fantastic. Saving space in our kitchen, making the most out of what we have. Nesting bowls are really important. If you're doing bread, if you're doing little cupcake mixtures or whatever it is, you've got a variety of bowls to do that in.
Are there any recipes you want to recommend to the amateur baker?
They say, there's a song for everybody. I think there's a recipe for everybody, and that's where it should be your starting off point. So pick something that you're comfortable with and then build on your skills from there. Don't go in trying to make something that is for a professional baker and you're an amateur baker, because what it does is it knocks your confidence if you don't get it right. Build on your skills. That's what I love so much about baking, is that it's a skill you can only improve on and nobody can take it away from you.
Thank you so much, Gemma, for taking the time today to share your expertise about baking. I think we have a better idea of how to organize a small kitchen for baking. You were fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to talk to you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I now have a way better idea of how to approach this design issue. Before we start discussing storage solutions, We need to stock up on kitchen gadgets because chopping and mixing by hand is truly overrated. It's all about working smarter, not harder. Let's add these 2 items Gemma recommended: a very cute stand mixer and a black food processor. Like Gemma said, these 2 items will take you super far. I know you're thinking, Kiva, you want me to buy these gadgets, but where do I put them? Consider installing one of these appliance lifts. It is an adjustable shelf that extends from a cabinet and basically acts as an appliance elevator. You never have to truly lift an appliance again. You'll never have to tell the embarrassing story of when you threw your back out while baking brownies. All bakers require numerous baking sheets, so you definitely need to pick up this set of 4. To make sure that they don't end up barricading your cabinets, use a kitchenware divider. Now, I've said this about 3 times already, but I don't bake. And when I do, I use about 6 bowls for 1 recipe. To store them easily, consider these nested mixing bowls that Gemma mentioned. They stack inside of one another so that they don't take up much horizontal or vertical space. They also have airtight lids, so they double as storage containers. Baking is all about dry goods, and you have a ton of them. You need somewhere to put your multiple types of flour and sugar. A common mistake I see in kitchen cabinet organization is that people buy storage containers that are all the same size. In reality, you rarely have the exact same quantities of items. To solve that problem, pick up a few of these storage containers. They come in different sizes to meet your different needs. And so that you never confuse cinnamon and cumin again, dedicate a shelf or 2 to these tiered spice racks. They're not only great for spices, but also extracts and sauces. Also, if you claim that you never mix those 2 up, you're lying. Of course, we're trying to maximize every nook and cranny of this kitchen so that we have absolutely no storage spillover to other parts of the home. So let's incorporate some cabinet door baskets. These can hold cutting boards, cleaning products, plastic wrap, whatever you need. The best part is that you can put these on just about every lower cabinet door. While we're at it, to reclaim some pot and pan space, technically baking territory, ever heard of Caramel? Add this wall-mounted pot rack. Even if you're an amateur baker, you now have a baking setup fit for a professional. If all of those organizational upgrades made you eager to make some design changes and take it a step further, I have some ideas for you. We're pursuing a modern traditional style. It's very classic in that it has simple patterns, but it also emphasizes warmth, wood tones, and natural colors and materials. The first way we're going to add some warmth is actually via this step ladder. This is wooden, so it fits the vibe we're going for in the kitchen, and it will help you reach those tall upper cabinets. To jazz up the space some more, we're going to add moss green picket tile. It's not too bold because it's reminiscent of subway tile, but it's fun due to the novel shape and color. You're going to need a solid backdrop for all of your baking photos, and this one offers that perfect pop of color. Of course, you already have overhead cabinetry, but if you have available wall space, add a few of these open shelves. Opt for oak tone shelves to complement the green tile. Use these shelves for your items that are stored in beautiful containers or your dishes that you save for when the queen visits. It's good to be prepared. You always need more workspace in the kitchen, so let's add this island, which is a great stationary one. But if you want to get one with wheels like Gemma suggested, try this one. Store the items that you need to grab rapidly when baking, like flour, sugar, and baking powder, in the island itself. The storage faces the inside of the kitchen, so no one will know if it's messy down there. Chances are you're going to be doing a lot of work at this island, so we need to make sure that you can see. Add a brass pendant light or 2. You need bar stools for when kneading the dough gets too hard and you need a break. These match the pendant light and are light enough in color that they are in theme with the kitchen, but aren't too light so that if you stain them with some pastry filling, no one will know. If you still need more storage, wow, your food must be delicious. We don't want your kitchen to look too industrial. You're not in a restaurant, you're at home. We're gonna do something non-traditional and use an armoire in the kitchen. Who's gonna stop you? This is a great option because it has tons of storage, and this armoire has a rustic look that really establishes the modern traditional look we've been working towards. This is your opportunity to go full organization mode and organize with these stackable food storage containers. On the bottom level of your armoire, I'd recommend adding your potatoes and onions since they need a cool, dark place. Then I'd use the rod to hang your abundant aprons and dish rags. You now have a modern traditional kitchen that is jam-packed, get it? With storage, but super stylish at the same time. Tune into our next episode of Interior Motives for another wildly specific design challenge. Oh no.